And hi, everybody, and welcome to Scholastic Sports Showcase tonight from Spartan Stadium in Kingston, Pennsylvania. It's a very key matchup between two teams looking to control their playoff destinies, and it will be decided here on the field this evening in terms of who is in control of what happens in terms of the playoffs. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Roger Snyder, along with Scott Federoff, and yes, indeed, it's Wyoming Valley West with a 5-4 record, Hazleton area with a 6-3 record, looking here to bolster their destinies in terms of playoffs, and it should be a good one here. We're going to have the toss of the coin and the kickoff coming up right after this.
Wide receiver, number 34.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium in Kingston, Pennsylvania, and yes, indeed, it should be a good one as the Wyoming Valley West Spartans match up here tonight against the Hazleton area Cougars. Well, hi, everybody. Roger Snyder along with Scott Federoff, and a special guest going to be joining us here during the second quarter of this evening's game. You might recall a little while back that PCTN had run the Sports Announcers Contest, and Mr. P.J. Podani will be joining us in the booth for the second quarter. He'll be calling the play-by-play. I'm going to slide over into the slot known as color, and with that, let's go to Scott Federoff for some thoughts on tonight's game coming in.
Roger, this should be a very exciting win. We've got Jason Scott needing about 23 yards to pull off his 1,000-yard season. In addition, Hazleton area needs to win tonight in order to keep things running as they need them to run in terms of playoff spots. So, very exciting contest.
Hazleton area will get the football here first as they will begin on the offensive side of the football. Taking the football up for the Wyoming Valley West Spartans is number 51, Jamie Scarlett. Jamie Scarlett is a name that you're going to hear often here tonight, one of the standouts in terms of defensive prowess for the Spartans. Capus and Dixon are the two deep backs for the Cougars, and we're just about set to get underway. Kind of a cool, chilly night. This is what is known as football weather. This will be Capus from the 13. Capus up the middle and returns to the 31. And so the Cougars of Hazleton area will begin initially with the football. Here's the way they're going to line up.
The Hazleton area offense is Grogan, Rasha, Tomsho, Kepping, and Zanolini. Brown, Scott, and Harmon will be in the backfield.
And the receivers, Capus, Heller, and Jamie Dixon. First and 10 for the Cougars. Jason Brown to Jason Scott, and Scott will come to the near side and manage a couple.
Jason Scott, as we all know, a very fine runner. So far this year, he scored 7 touchdowns, 42 points. Smith, Stumps, Goronsky, Williams are the defensive up fronts. Scarlett and Weitzel. The backers in white, Merrill, Taylor, Emmert, and Emmert, excuse me.
The backs are Williams, Ian Smith, Kevin Stump, and Bill Skoronsky. 3 yards on the play for Jason Scott. Caught behind the line, shakes a tackle. At the 40 and crosses the 45. It'll be a first down as he is out to the 46-yard line. And Jason Scott with that carry will move even closer to that magic 1,000-yard rushing for the season.
That's why Jason Scott is so dangerous, Roger. You think you've got him, you think the play is over. So the linebackers and the folks not near the tackle take a breath, and before you know it, he's out again for a first down. He came into tonight's game, 152 carries, 977 yards.
Had an equipment problem. Check to the far sideline, and we have a penalty flag as someone jumped off sides. 15 yards unofficially for Scott. So that means 18 more yards, and undoubtedly he will get that, barring some sort of a...
Our officiating crew tonight, the umpire Jerry Hunsinger, linesman Bill Monahan, line judge George Price, back judge Earl Harris, and our referee tonight, John Thomas.
I was going to say, barring any kind of one of those miracle things that would enable you to keep a fine runner like Jason Scott to less than 18 yards here, he's going to get it. And on this carry, he will get about 3 yards.
Jason Scott already with 3 carries. Hazleton area needing a win or a tie tonight in order to clinch their division in the Eastern Conference.
3 yards on the last play to the 44 for Jason Scott, so he now needs 15 yards. We'll keep an eye on that. He gets another opportunity here. And Jason Scott into Spartan territory at the 47. And Hazleton area here, Scott looking to do the smart thing, which is not try to get all of the 15 yards back on play number 1.
Rog, Jason Scott is the kind of a runner that the offensive linemen love to block for. You don't need a hole that you can drive a truck through in order for Jason Scott to make some real estate.
This time it's Jason Harmon, and Jason Harmon is going to be close to first down yardage. It's going to depend upon the spot of the football. And I would say, judging from the line judge on the near side here, that in all probability he's going to have it, but it may be close enough to measure. John Thomas is going to take a look at it. He says, let's check this thing out.
We like to call Jason Harmon our Larry Zonka, at least as far as the Hazleton area Cougars go. He is a big, punishing runner. Jason Harmon, he's the guy that is averaging, I believe, coming into tonight's game, 4.5 yards every time he touches the football. That's one thing for a halfback, folks, but to run fullback patterns, it is a first down, to run fullback running plays and get 4.5 yards a carry, you know, you're talking about the 3rd and 1 rods and the other tough yardage. To average 4.5 there is quite an accomplishment.
Guys across the front for the Spartans who are looking to stop the likes of Harmon and Scott, Toby Merrill, Dave White, Jim Taylor, Joe Ruddy, Jamie Everett. This is Joe Longo going to test that line as he tries left side and manages a couple of yards over there.
Joe Longo coming into tonight's game, 63 carries, 248 yards, averaging just under 4 yards a carry. And he's the 3rd weapon in that backfield, Raj. If you don't get Harmon, if you don't get Scott, Longo is a quite accomplished back in his own right.
This time out of the tee, Scott to the near side, breaks a tackle and is inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. And that's going to be very close to the first down as we give you another look at Jason Scott.
Hey! You gotta come up on the corner.
Scott looking for running room and a good tackle and a good stop made on the play by Bill Skowronski.
Great job of blocking that time by the right side of the Hazleton area offense. And another look for the measurement of the first down. There you see it.
And another first down for Hazleton area. That's their 3rd of the drive. And unofficially, Jason Scott now needs 11. Look at Richie Matz along the sideline. Richie said before the game, he told me this is a very much improved Wyoming Valley West team. to the 30.
Harmon on the carry.
Harmon just about his average there, 4 yards approximately.
Jamie Scarlett, a 6'2", 210-pound senior, on the tackle over there.
Jimmy Williams also in on that.
7 minutes, 27 seconds remain. First period of play. No score. Thanks for joining us. It's Hazleton area at Wyoming Valley West. Cougars and the Spartans.
This is Longo. Longo inside the 30 and is down to about the 26-yard line. Jim Williams, a 5'8", 180-pound senior, comes up to make the tackle on Longo.
The offensive line of Hazleton is winning the battle so far. This first offensive series goes to them.
Again, full house backfield. Why not? Give it to Harmon. Yep. But I'll tell you what, that time Harmon found some very tough running. Dave White, Toby Taylor, all right there, looking to deny, and Harmon that time only able to muster a yard.
And he gets up pulling the mud out of his face mask. Now that's high school football. It doesn't get any better. There's the Hazleton fans having made the trip. They love these Cougars.
4th down and 1. Harmon, Scarlett hit him first, but I believe it was going to be after he had the first down, and indeed that was the case. Jamie Scarlett coming up to make the tackle. So Hazleton area takes the opening kickoff. This drive started at their own 34.
They've already used up more than half of the first quarter.
A little bit of misdirection. Jason Scott, he's got a lane to the end zone and is going to take it in. Touchdown, Hazleton area. And with that run, Jason Scott will put his name in the record book in his first season of Hazleton area Cougar football as the first 1,000-yard rusher in the new history of Hazleton area.
Rushing 1,000 yards in this Quad A division against the likes of their competition is a fantastic achievement.
Jim Bognett on to attempt the point after out of the hold of Jamie Dixon. Good snap, placement, kick is good. And so Hazleton area on top at the 5-minute and 42-second look, 7-0. Let's give you another look at this run by Jason Scott. Watch what happens when he gets outside. He smells end zone. He even let up just a little bit there at the 5-yard line.
Great blocking. Great blocking. So quite an impressive first offensive drive for the Cougars. And now it'll be Wyoming Valley West's turn to have an opportunity with the football.
Well, so much for that story, Scott. Jason Scott is already
at least a half out of that.
Richie Matz wasn't. He was hoping it'd be quicker than this.
Hazleton area last week, of course, coming off a 21-19 victory over Coughlin. Wyoming Valley West at 5-4. This Wyoming Valley West team is very tough. The competition in this neck of the woods, it is literally the kind of a thing that anybody can beat anybody on any given night. Beautiful facility here at Wyoming Valley West. If you've not had an opportunity to catch an event here, you should.
And that's an opportunity for us to say thank you to Joe Yvonne and his staff here. We appreciate your hospitality. Uh-oh. Look at this. A tremendous run back. By Ian Smith.
You can't ask for much more than that. Ball on the 48-yard line, the Hazleton area 48-yard line.
Watch here. Ian Smith coming right at you.
Well, he's got afterburners in those shoes.
Well,
Wow.
let me tell you, Scott, Ian Smith is the District 2 champion in the 100 meters.
I believe it.
Probably ranks right up there, his speed, with that of Jason Scott.
Looks like his
This
hips are
is Bill
asleep.
Skoronsky.
Skoronsky on the reverse. Walked down by
Skoronsky, an elusive runner. 4 minutes, 58 seconds remaining first quarter. Our score, Hazleton area, 7. Wyoming Valley West Spartans, nothing. I was a Spartan.
Yes, you were. North Schuylkill. That's right. North Schuylkill Spartans. I was close to a Spartan. I was a Green Knight.
I was just going to ask you, if flag goes down, you were a Green Knight.
I was a Green Knight.
I'm not sure I would have wanted to be a Green Knight.
Well, there are a lot of worse things you could be.
There was something warrior-like about being a Spartan. What's warrior-like about being a Green Knight? Of course, a
Same
knight.
thing as a Spartan, but you're green. 5-yard penalty is marched off against the Spartans, and that moves the football back to their own 49. Longo comes up to make the tackle on Poplawski. First time that he's seen the football tonight. Poplawski, only a junior, 5'10", 185 pounds.
First down now for Wyoming Valley West.
Bill Howells is the quarterback. Bill Howells, in the first game of the season, ended up with a knee injury, had to undergo surgery, and is back end healthy. This time looking at a man, it was Jamie Emmert, and Emmert just could not find the handle. That's going to bring up a 4th down play.
The Wyoming Valley West offense, White, Kashchak, Ruddy, Scarlett, and Howells, Poplawski are in the backfield. Smith, Skoronsky, Wasley, and Evans. Did I get Wasley right?
Wasley. Yeah, almost with a Z. Wasley. Toby Merrill gets the punt away. It's going to hit. Takes a Hazleton bounce, and Jamie Emmert is going to down the football.
Where the Cougars take over, first down.
And the Hazleton area defense will let you know who they are quick. Harmon, Kepping, Mariano, Zanellini, and LaRock. Barron, Heller, Scott, and Dixon are in the backfield. And Pombo and Longo are the linebackers. So Hazleton area, Roger, will have 3 minutes and 35 seconds with which to do some more offensive wondery.
First time they had the ball, they took the opening kickoff. 12-play drive. Oh, boy, this time
Longo on the carry.
Longo finds a lot of resistance up front in the likes of Joe Ruddy, Dave White, and Jim Taylor.
Is that called getting stuffed?
Yeah, he got stuffed. That sounds like a line out of Crocodile Dundee.
We used to say good stick when I was in high school, but I hear these guys saying, hey, way to stuff them.
Crocodile Dundee, one of my favorite movies.
I never would have guessed.
Love it. There was a loss of 2 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 12. And the official's going to hold action up here for just a second.
Dave Barasha being ministered to.
This is Jason Scott. Shakes 2 tackles, still on his feet. A 3rd man misses, and he's chased out of bounds as he nears the 27-yard line. So a gain of 10 on the play, but it is still going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards. Still in the first quarter, 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Here's another look at Scott. Boy, you saw right there. I'll tell you what, that's all those drills that you run in practice to step through the tires and that kind of thing.
And some of it's natural ability.
A lot of it's natural ability. Full house backfield, give to Harmon up the middle. Looking for first down yardage. Does he have it? I believe he does. Harmon is out to the 34. And that is going to move the chains. That's the 5th first down of the game for the Cougars.
Jason Harmon-Rodge isn't the kind of a runner as you see it again. Look at that. You cannot take Jason Harmon on one-on-one at the shoulder level. I mean, why in heaven's name would you ever want to do that? Williams is 5'8", 180.
And he had to be the stopper. He came up from the safety position because Jason Harmon had already gotten by the front line of defense. This time from the eye. And Scott this time can't find anywhere to run. Give him a gain maybe of 2 on the play.
So a gutsy move by Williams, but one that's tough to win.
Jamie Scarlett was the man again who made the defensive play.
1 minute 59 seconds now, first quarter.
Hazleton area, second drive of the ball game for them. A reminder that P.J. Podani will be sitting in with us and will be calling the play-by-play for the second quarter of tonight's game as Jason Scott manages the 40-yard line, gain of about 3 on the play for Jason Scott, making the tackle Jim Taylor. Jason Scott is 5'9", weighs about 180 pounds. As you see the time.
The defensive front for Wyoming Valley West is not a small defensive front. 210, 235, 218. Some big boys up there.
Big guys up there. Third down and 4 play. Scott looking to get outside. He does. First down. Stays on his feet into Spartan territory at the 48-yard line. Gain of 12 for Jason Scott. And another Hazleton area first down. Jason Scott, when he gets outside, as you'll see right here, he turns on the speed that he possesses. Watch as he turns the corner. He shakes the tackle. That was a good effort. And when he smells that sideline, that's where he likes to run. He's going to get a quick breather as Jason Harmon will check into the Cougar lineup. Jamie Dixon going wide to the far side. Longo on a little bit of a counter is corralled by Ed Weitzel. Nice defensive effort that time by Dave Weitzel. And that's going to be a loss on the play of 3.
There you see the score.
Second down, 13. Hazleton has not thrown the ball so far this evening. When they do throw, they like to go to Ron Heller. Mason Brown looks to throw. Has time. Here comes pressure. Nice job by Dave White along with Jim Taylor. And Jason Brown thrown for a loss all the way back to the 39-yard line. Time has expired. First quarter is history. Hazleton area on top by a score of 7-0. Second quarter coming right up. And welcome back. Let me introduce you to P.J. Podani, who is going to step in and call the play-by-play here in the second quarter of action. P.J.
And as we look here, Jason Brown threw just over the head of Ron Heller. So that'll bring second down and 10. Check that, fourth down. Punting unit will come in for the Cougars.
P.J., that time Heller was open. Ball was just thrown a little bit too high. And Hazleton will find themselves in a punting situation here with Chris Grovich.
We're going to have a short timeout, official timeout. It looks like the center. They have a motion penalty against the Cougars, so that'll back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, apparently someone moved up on the line there, and the penalty will give the Cougars just a lot further here in terms of their punting effort.
There's a snap. Gets off the kick. Decent punt. It'll take a Hazleton bounce, and it'll be down at the 40-yard line of the Spartans. So the Spartans will take over here. Down 7-0 early in the second period.
PJ, Wyoming Valley West, the first time, this is only their second position, or second time. There's a look at PJ Podani, the winner of our Sports Announcers Contest, whose voice you're currently hearing. PJ, the first time that Wyoming Valley West had the ball, they started at the Hazleton 48, but really weren't able to do too much with it, and they went 3 downs and out, 3 downs and punt. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Well, Howells will take the snap, and he'll reverse it. And he'll throw on an option, incomplete, so he went for pay dirt. He tried to get it all back at once, Roger, and a little misdirection.
PJ, that was some great faking that time.
Certainly was. He faked me out.
As Howells hung on to the ball, they made it look like they were going to go wide to the left. Get another look here. That was a good fake there, and the man was open, but it was simply overthrown.
Great piece of ball handling in the backfield by Howells. Okay, Howells comes out in a different formation without a running back.
We got trips left.
Here we go. Howells back over the middle, and it's intercepted. It's picked off. Joe Longo. And he'll return that into Spartan territory. So the Cougars will take over. 1st and 10 at the Spartan 45.
Joe Longo that time made a great one-handed catch. As he went up, he put that big mid out. We saw a play similar to this on the part of Brad Keller over at Central Columbia just the other week. But Joe Longo, that was a one-handed job and a nice return there. Making the tackle and finishing him off was Dave White.
Brown will take the snap from the eye, gives to Scott. Scott doesn't find much running room, but there's flag down.
And I believe that might be a holding penalty.
So that'll back the Cougars up.
One of the things that is always a concern is the fact that you make mistakes, and at this part of the year, those people don't expect their teams to be making any kind of mistakes.
Well, I believe that holding penalty, sometime you'll incur a holding penalty, try and protect your runner.
And undoubtedly that's what happened that time. Jason Scott was the ball carrier.
Well, that's the last guy you would want to see get hit in an awkward way and sustain any kind of injury, because he's a bread and butter man. All right, we're 1st and 24 for the Cougars. Brown gives to Scott, and there's nothing there.
Jason Scott ran right into a wall that time, and the wall comes in the name of number 72, Jim Taylor. He's the nose guard, and he did a great job of leading that charge. Absolutely nowhere to go that time.
2nd and 25. It's Cougars lost a yard on that. Brown barks out the signals. Back to pass, and it's fumbled. And I believe Wyoming Valley West fell on it. So it's a costly turnover. And Wyoming Valley West will take over at the Cougar 32-yard line.
I'll see if this name rings a bell. Jim Taylor doing a great job. He came right up the middle that time, and he got to Jason Brown as Brown was looking to throw, and the ball came out as Taylor had gotten the arm of Brown, and that's going to give Wyoming Valley West great field position as they start from their 34.
Okay, Howells pitches to Skoronsky. He tries to turn the corner, and he'll pick up around 4 yards. Check that. That was Joe Poplawski. gain of 6, so it'll bring up a 2nd and 4.
That was a nice run that time.
Well, Poplawski, the real workhorse in that backfield, using the pro set with one back, tight ends and flankers. Howells takes the snap, giving up Poplawski up the middle, and he'll get maybe a yard. It'll bring up 3rd down for Valley West, and it'll be 3rd and 3. So this could be one of the key early calls facing Bill Chase in Wyoming Valley West. I'm sure they'd like to even this score before halftime. Although it's very early in the game, we just passed the 9-minute mark.
Yeah, this would be a real big drive here if Wyoming Valley West could come back and answer with points, and it would really put them on an even basis for the rest of the game with the Cougars.
Howells pitches, Poplawski again. And I don't believe he got that 1st down.
PJ, looks like he's going to be about 2 yards short. Yeah. And that's going to, no, stand corrected. Confusing as we looked across the sidelines. And it's good for a 1st down to the 22.
It didn't look like he picked the necessary yardage up from this angle.
That's the first 1st down of the ball game for Wyoming Valley West, for the Spartans.
And it's probably maybe going to be their most important.
4 more downs and they're within striking distance.
Again, Poplawski through the middle.
Ron Heller with a real good open field textbook tackle to bring down Poplawski. They simply felt that they could get some yardage once again around this right side, and that's where they continue to pound away.
Well, both teams' offense mirroring each other. It's the classic cliche smash mouth football that both coaches prefer to play. Here's Howells, bends over, barks the signals. Guess who's going to get this, Roger? He's going to pass. Wow. And
interference is going to be the call.
That's going to be a big-time penalty against the Cougars.
Now, keep in mind, in high school football, it's not at the spot of the foul, as it is in the pros, but it is simply a 15-yard penalty from the spot, and obviously inside the 30, this is going to be half the distance to the goal. So this will move the football down inside the 10-yard line.
And also bring up a 1st down.
And give them a 1st down.
So Valley West will take the spot at the Cougar 10, and they can make a 1st down. It's 1st and 9 without scoring.
Poplawski that time to the 6. And that'll make it a 2nd down goal to go from the 6. Poplawski that time got some tough yardage.
The snap man in motion. Howells rolls out, and it's broken up.
Boy, that was a great job of faking again on the part of Bill Howells. The throw was in the neighborhood of a couple of receivers there. I believe that was probably intended for...
I believe that was Jamie Emmert. Jason Barron broke it up.
Yeah, Ron Heller got a hand on that one too, as the ball was tipped, and now it is going to be Wyoming Valley West asking for a timeout, as they want another opportunity here to talk this over with a 3rd down and 6 play coming.
Well, Roger, with 3rd and 6, it looks like a passing down coming up, but with this workhorse, Poplawski in the backfield, I'm sure they're going to talk it over.
Poplawski is a very good athlete. He's quick, and you notice they do run from the pro set. They leave one running back, and they try to get their blocking matchups by way of motion. Now, Now, let me just say that right here, for all practical purposes, the Spartans have really done some great jobs in terms of their play-action passing. And it wouldn't surprise me here to see if maybe they come back with that. And I think maybe this time, if I were Coach Bill Chase, I might be looking to throw something over the middle. In the event you were wondering, Brian Sanders is their place kicker. In the event they come up short here, Brian Sanders is said to be good from at least 30 yards, maybe 35. So it'll be interesting to see what Bill Chase is thinking here in terms of, is it 2-down territory or not?
Well, Bill Howell's clever at quarterback, pitches to Poplawski and off halfback option, and that will be a touchdown. Wow. Now there's the element of surprise that you talked about, Roger.
That was Ian Smith, and I'll tell you what, that's why you take a timeout sometimes. You set the play, you make sure that everybody's on the same page in the playbook. And with 7 minutes and 3 seconds here in the second quarter, the touchdown pass, it was an option pass that went from Poplawski to Ian Smith.
Okay, here's the boot to tie it up, and it's true. So we got a tie ball game with 7:03 left in the second period.
Brian Sanders was the man who booted that through. And we are indeed all tied at 7.
I'll tell you what, Roger, what I see right now is Wyoming Valley West made some defensive adjustments in their last series. And I think they realized they cannot run up the gut continuously against the Cougars.
Well, obviously, Hazleton has been noted for a very tough defense. And as part of that, I'm sure that in order to make sure that everybody plays honest and open things up, sometimes you have to do some of the things that Wyoming Valley West is showing. You got to take a little play action that freezes the linebackers, makes the linemen play honest, and then you look for the short passes that opens things up and makes them play honest, and then it should open up the run.
Okay, Jim Bognett gets set. Brian Williams booms it, and that's going to go into the end zone, and it'll come out at the 20-yard line. So the Cougars get ready to try and answer that last Wyoming West offensive drive.
And a look at the basketball schedule coming your way here on PCTN. Lots of great action. Pottsville, Hazleton. That one's going to be live on the 15th. The first boys game from the new gymnasium. Central at Berwick, the Hazleton Christmas tournament. Hafey round ball tournament. Hoban at Hazleton. Hazleton at Berwick. Lots of others. You're going to enjoy them. We'll also be at Hazleton, Penn State for some basketball action.
Brown pitches to Jason Scott.
Jim Williams did a nice job that time of coming up to make that tackle.
Pickup of 1, so it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Cougars.
A concern to Richie Metz. Since we don't want to leave these guys back in the ballgame.
Jake Brown gives up the middle. It's Jason Harmon.
Boy, Harmon couldn't find anywhere to go against those down linemen. Watch here as Harmon finds the tough going. Jim Taylor and Jamie Emmert make the tackle on him there.
Well, we continually call Taylor's name. He's the bulwark of that defense for Valley West. Jay Harmon back. He has time. He throws over the middle, and that'll be complete.
Boy, what a nice reception by the tight end, Ron Heller.
I'll tell you, Brown showed a lot of poise in the backfield there. He waited until he spotted his man. He was very cool under some pressure. And now let's take another look at it.
Watch as Heller works his way loose. He was down when he caught that, but boy, I'll tell you what, that was a nice reception and good for the first down. 7th first down of the ball game for the Cougars.
Okay, the Cougars come out in the eye, giving it a second man through. That'll be Jason Scott. That'll bring up second down and 7.
The Wyoming Valley West defense has really played this very, very tough, and we have a player shaken up. I'm not sure. Is that Jason Scott down there?
I can't see the number.
The advance of the football was out to the 40. It's going to be a second down and a
pickup of a yard. It'll be second and 6.
Richie Matt's going to come out and take a look too. I believe that might be Jason Scott. He's shaken up. Nope, it's not Jason Scott. I saw him in the backfield.
I'm not so sure it's not the center. John Tom show.
The field here tonight was in relatively good condition. It's just a little bit soft, and they're saying both teams to go to the sideline here. Apparently we're going to beat just a little bit, as they're not wanting to take any chance. Joe Longo?
I believe it's Joe Longo that's down.
Good sign when you sit back up. Well, coming your way this winter here on PCTN, some great wrestling action. The Grapplers, Shamokin at Hazleton. The Columbia County, part of the PCTN Scholastic Sports Showcase programming. It's PJ Podani, who was the winner in our sports announcer contest and has been doing a great job here through the early goings of the second quarter. And now here's PJ to call it for you again.
Okay, that was Longo that was injured, and now it's given to Jason Scott, who really gets through that middle and knifes through that Wyoming Valley West defense. Boy, if you give him an inch, he will take more than a yard.
Kevin Stump was the man who came up, and one of the things that I've noticed here, PJ, is the fact that a lot of times it's the secondary of the Spartans that have been they've had to rely on to come up and to make the tackles. That isn't, by the way, another first down there for the Cougars.
Yep. Okay, we're set. Barrett gives it to Scott again, and Scott continues to pile up some yardage as he had a pickup.
You know, that ball popped loose. Let's see here. I'm not sure. Are they going to say he was down or not? Yep, they say he was down. Nope, and now we're going to have an unsportsmanlike penalty call against the Spartans, and this is a big play because it gives the Cougars a first down in tremendous field position at the 33 of the Spartans. 4 minutes remain here in the second quarter.
Well, that's going to hurt the Spartans as they are in a first down situation now. Great field position, and Barron pitches to Jason Scott, and he's going to turn the corner as we get a flag on the play.
I think they're going to call a clip here, but I'm not sure. There's like a 3-yard zone on either side of that ball that you can block from behind. Let's see if that's what it is. Yeah, they're going to call it a clip.
So Wyoming Valley West will get their 15 yards back as the Cougars are going to be backed up.
The difference being here, the Cougars are going to have yet at first another first down opportunity and try.
The play will, Wyoming Valley West will take the penalty, so it'll be 1st and 25.
All the way back into Hazleton area territory once again at the 49-yard line as the Wyoming Valley West cheerleaders look to get their Spartans fired up once again. There you see the time remaining, first half of action.
Brown pitches to Jason Scott, who looks to throw. It's a halfback option, and it's nearly picked off.
Ian Smith stepped in front of Ron Heller. They sent a deep man down the right sideline, and then they tried to throw underneath.
Well,
and that one comes up short. That was a play that Hazleton area worked once earlier in the season for a touchdown.
that's a play that I don't think Rich Matz wants to be forced to use, Roger. He's a proponent of the old philosophy that when you pass, 3 things can happen and 2 of them are bad. He prefers to stay on the ground. Of course, with those running backs, Harmon and Scott, you can understand why. Okay, Jason Brown is set. Gives to Jason Scott. He's up the middle, and he'll pick up about 3 yards.
Brought down by Jim Taylor and Joe Ruddy.
Give him a gain of about 3 on that play, and Hazleton area here on that play really was hoping to get a lot more than 3 yards. I mean, they have 3rd down and a long way to go here for a first down, and I'm sure that was a play that they were hoping maybe the pass opened it up, and that Wyoming Valley West would be looking for something deep. Didn't quite work out that way.
Well, Carl Capus came in with the play, and he split way out to the right side. Brown will take it, and they stay on the ground as Jason Scott gets nothing.
Boy, a great job on the part of Kevin Stuff. I'll tell you what, the secondary, the linebackers and the secondary for Wyoming Valley West have really been doing a tremendous job. And one of the things, though, that you need to just kind of keep an eye on here, and we'll keep an eye on in the second half, is that when you get your secondary coming up that quickly to make those kind of hits, sooner or later you might be able to burn them deep. We'll see what happens.
Okay, the punter, Bognett, in the game. Good snap. Bognett will get it off. High spiraling punt. Good punt. Will take a Hazleton bounce. It'll be down at the Wyoming Valley West 19-yard line. So, with 1:53 to go, we're all knotted up here at Spartan Stadium, 7-7.
We thought this would be a good ball game. And boy, we have not been disappointed.
Boy, I'll tell you,
7-7.
this Wyoming Valley West is a really improved team since Howells came back from that injury. And it's a much different team. They've won 4 in a row as they get set for their offensive possession. Howells gives to Poplowski, and it may be a gain of 1. So it appears that Bill Chase is going to be content to grind it out as we have an official timeout. And there's an equipment problem.
Be interesting to see what Wyoming Valley West does here with 1:19 to go. Certainly they can't just sit on the football here. Hazleton would use their timeouts, force them to punt from deep in their own territory. So they're looking to get first down yardage here, take this lead into the take the tie into the locker room, I would think.
Howells gives to Poplowski. He tries to turn the corner, still on his feet. And what a rugged runner we have there. You know, Poplowski and Harmon are kind of carbon copies.
Very much out of the same mold. Corey Zanolini along with Jason Scott on the tackle, and this is close enough to the first down to measure. So the clock stops temporarily. There you saw the end of the play there, and a little extracurricular pushing, shoving, and yelling, but that's part of the game. That's why they call it football, I guess.
Well, this game is important in both District 2 and Eastern Conference, so we can understand why the spirits are high. Plus, it's homecoming here for the Spartans. Great pregame show they had, Roger.
They had some beautiful floats, and the Spartan marching band turned in a tremendous performance prior to the start of the game.
Well, here's the
you can see that the measurement says that it's about 3.5 inches short.
So it'll be third and a short one.
The halftime talks are going to be interesting on both sides of the football here.
Well, Hazleton came out with a lot of momentum on that first possession.
Big play here for the Hazleton defense.
Giving to Poplawski, and he'll pick up that first down and more as he reaches the 40-yard line. So it'll be first down, Wyoming Valley West. Stops the clock at 41 seconds.
And that really is only the second
we'll
first
take a look
down.
at it again.
Watch Poplawski cut it up. That's textbook. You want to cut it in behind your runners. That actually provides a bit of a screen for you as you put your blocker between yourself and the defensive man. That's only the second first down. I'm going to correct that. Third first down of the first half for the Spartans.
Well, if you look at the stats, Roger, you would think that this game was a little different than a 7-7 tie. I'm sure Hazleton area has been piling up a lot of yardage with
Hazleton has been in control. They certainly have run more plays. Hazleton has had the ball 4 times. They've started at their own 31, their own 19. Then they started at the Wyoming Valley West 44 and their own 20. And oddly enough, it was when they started at the Wyoming Valley West 44 that it was that possession that, with the fumble that was recovered by Jim Taylor, set up the Wyoming Valley West touchdown.
Okay, here's the Spartans. Howells gets ready to take the snap. He's back. He has time. He throws, and he has a man open, and that'll be complete.
Wow, what a
Ian Smith.
What a super catch. That was Bill Skoronski that time. Bill Skoronski, only a junior, 6'1", 175 pounds, basically headed upfield and then turned it out to the sideline and was wide open. And a great throw. Put that one right on the money.
Let's take a look at it again, Roger.
You saw the fine catch there. They come right back with the same play.
And that was the
Interference, no question about it.
Well,
there will be no question here about the interference call. And that's exactly what we're going to get.
Well, there's such things as good penalties, Roger, and that was...
Now, let's point out here that the ball is not going to be on the 1-yard line. Just because the interference call was in the end zone, it's going to be 15 yards from the spot. And it is going to carry with it a first down. So with 19 seconds left, it is going to be a 1st and 10 from the 20.
Well, 19 precious seconds left in this first half for Bill Howells and the Spartans. And there'll be a motion penalty. It looked like movement on that Wyoming Valley West line.
And so both teams here pressing just a little bit. That was an illegal procedure call. Somebody up front moved, and that'll move the ball back to the 25-yard line. And that's a big penalty right there with 18 seconds left, because Brian Sanders is good from 30 to 35 yards. And with that penalty, it effectively probably has removed him from field goal range, and forces Wyoming Valley West to get yardage on this next down.
All set. In the pocket. Very little pressure. Now he throws, and that'll be incomplete. That was intended for the fullback, Poplawski. So only 5 seconds run off the clock.
And right here, Hazleton can be playing pass, I would think, pretty much all the way. And the reason we can say that is because at this stage of the game, you really don't have to worry too much about that little play action. The clock becomes the ally of the Cougars here, and it is what the Spartans are fighting against.
Howells back again, looks, time, and that'll be picked off.
Pombo.
Chris Pombo with the key interception to stop that drive. So with time just about expired, 1 second showing on our scoreboard, the Cougars will just kneel on it, I'm sure, and go into that locker room content with a 7-7 tie. And time has expired without the need for another play. So a real rugged first half, Roger, a really enjoyable football game.
And PJ, we have enjoyed having you on as part of our broadcast team here tonight. And congratulations to you on winning our contest. Congratulations to you on a fine job. PJ Bodani.
Thank you very much, Roger.
During the calling of our action during the second quarter of tonight's game, teams head to the locker room. 7-7, we're at the half. Hazleton area 7, Wyoming Valley West 7. A good first half of action here tonight from Kingston, Pennsylvania, Spartan Stadium, in a very key game for both ball clubs as they come in here. Let's take just a moment and run down the way the scoring happened. Not a whole lot to tell, but basically it was Jason Scott on the first time that Hazleton area had the ball. He managed over 1,000 yards, and he capped a 12-play, 69-yard drive with a 22-yard touchdown run, made it 6-0. That score came at the 5-minute, 42-second mark of the first quarter. Jim Bognett added on the point after. It was 7-0. As we headed into the second quarter of action, it was an option pass from Popolowski to Smith. Joe Popolowski to Ian Smith. That capped a 34-yard drive, which took them 8 plays to go the distance. And that made it 7-6. Brian Sanders added on the point after, and that's the way the teams headed to the locker room. Well, tonight's game is being brought to you in part by
the Pecora Dairy,
Grand Central TV and Appliance,
also Major League Collectibles,
by Rhodes End Pub and Club,
by the Ivanhoe Restaurant,
and by Hornick's Auto Service. Hazleton area going to have to give up the football here, Scott, to get us underway in the second half here. And the defense right away will be tested.
And to test it will be, there were some highlights for both teams in the first half in terms of offensive possessions, but they fought to a stalemate an awful lot of the time. So I'm kind of excited to see what will happen here in the second half.
And there you see the signal. The Spartans will receive. They will defend the goal to our right, which is the east goal here. Hazleton will move from left to right, which is from west to east. Well, the first time Hazleton touched the football, they took it 12 plays. Jason Scott capped that one off with a 22-yard touchdown run. The first time Wyoming Valley West had the football, it was 3 and out, 3 downs and punt. Hazleton then moved to the 34-yard line from their own 19 on the second possession, ended up punting the football away. On Wyoming Valley West's second drive, ended up in a pass interception by Joe Longo. Good one-handed catch, you might remember. Then Hazleton got the ball back, and they turned it right back over to the Spartans as Jim Taylor recovered a fumble as Jason Brown was sacked. Then on the third play, which followed that fumble recovery by Taylor, it was the it was the 6-yard touchdown pass that went from Popolowski to Ian Smith. And both drives ended up in a punt on the fourth time that they each had the football. Chris Grovich will tee the football up. And right there you get a look at Bill Skowronski. Bill Skowronski, described by Bill Chase as the best athlete on his team. Let me make sure I have that right. That's correct. Kick is away. Who's it going to be? Ian Smith. Smith, with a good return, is out to the 38-yard line. where the Spartans will have it 1st and 10. Make it to 39.
So Bill Howells and company find their way back to the huddle. It's always interesting to see what the coach goes with, Raj. First play of the first half, first play of the second half.
These are the ones you talk about in the locker room. What they go with is Joe Poplawski as he pops through the middle, takes it to the outside. Poplawski caught at the 1-yard line.
What a run.
Jason Scott, the speedster. Joe Poplawski, a speedster.
We were wondering what they'd go with, and go they did.
We're going to give you another look as that brings the fans here at Spartan Stadium to their feet. An electrifying run. That was a 60-yard run. Poplawski takes Jason Scott to catch up with him. As we go back to live action, and Poplawski off right tackle for the touchdown.
So Wyoming Valley West answers back the first drive of the second half. They jump on top 13-7.
A 61-yard scoring drive set up by that 60-yard run on the part of Poplawski.
Boy, for a big guy, he can motor. Jason Scott had everything that he could do and an angle in order to catch Poplawski.
And you know, just wouldn't have been justice that time. Rich Banis shaken up on the play. Banis, a 6'1", 250-pound tackle. Here's Brian Sanders, point after, good.
So it is the Wyoming Valley West Spartans 14, the Cougars of Hazleton Area 7.
Scott, one of the points I wanted to make was the fact that it would have been anything but it would have been a disservice had they done anything other than give it to this man right here. Jason Scott barely got him right there, but it didn't matter as Joe Poplawski, the 5'10", 185-pound junior, takes it in for the touchdown.
If you're an opposing coach, that will cause nightmares if you happen to be on the staff of the Spartans. Sweet dreams.
That'll make you anxious to sign your contract for the next year. So Richie Matz will have his work cut out for him, he and the Cougars, as they will need to answer.
Jamie Scarlett to kick off for the Spartans. Number 21, Carl. Number 34, Dixon. Deep return for the Cougars.
Scarlett will kick it off. Who's it going to be? Dixon. Looking for room, picks his way all the way out to the 34-yard line, where Hazleton area will begin.
So a good return.
Now by Chris Jones and Kevin Stump.
And now an opportunity for Jason Brown and company.
Well, Scott, you had mentioned about the first play of the second half. And boy, I'll tell you, that was an exciting run there. See if the Cougars can answer. To the 40-yard line is Jason Scott. Gain of 6, second down and 4.
Gain of 5, second down 5.
To Jason Scott, net in the backfield by Jamie Scarlett. wonder this kid made 21 tackles against Stroudsburg. You saw how it happened.
Big Corey Zanolini, number 55. He does that number justice.
Why is that?
He's a good athlete. Big guy. Plays hard.
No. With respect to the number. Here's Jason Brown looking for numbers, and it's Scarlett with the interception at the 43, returns it to the 38. Jamie Scarlett gives Wyoming Valley West perhaps the most improved ball club right now in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Great field position at the 39-yard line.
Wyoming Valley West simply seizing every opportunity.
Skoronsky came in motion, now looking to throw. Ian Smith can't find the handle. The throw was on the money as Bill Howells put that one right out there. Good close coverage by Jason Scott. But that one could have been for big yardage.
Howells, Roger, lots of time to throw back there. Corey Zanolini double team. Some of the guys up front just able to give Bill Howells all the time that he needed. They like to give their high school quarterbacks about 2.5, 3 seconds back there, maybe 4. Beyond that, tough.
Second down, 10 play. Howells with the pitch to Poplawski. And Poplawski will barrel down to about the 31-yard line as Matt LaRock, a 5'9", 175-pound senior, comes up to make the tackle. Wyoming area takes the first play of the second half, 60 yards, and caps it off with a 1-yard run to go on top, and they're looking for more here. Here's Poplawski. First down as he's out of bounds.
Poplawski again on the carry.
The 34-yard line, stopped on the play.
By Longo and Barron.
By Jason Barron.
8 minutes, 16 seconds remaining, third period of play. And it has been, as you get another look at it, it has been all that man. Interception on Hazleton area's only offensive possession. Other than that, it was 2 plays and a touchdown for the Spartans of Wyoming Valley West.
Bill Howells brings Skoronsky in motion. The give is going to be to Jim Williams. And Williams that time is going to lose about a yard as Tony Mariano will rise to meet that occasion. They put the ball back to the 35.
Roger,
so that's a 2nd and 11.
That was a great play by Tony Mariano. He did not over-pursue. Stayed right 1.5 or 2 yards deep into the backfield, and he made the stop.
Quick pass, and it is thrown behind Ian Smith. Jason Barron supplied the coverage. That was a timing pass, and the timing was not on time. How's that?
Eloquent.
It was the best I could do. And so a 3rd down and 11 from the 35. Howells this time has a man in the slot on the left side and looks to throw over the middle. What a catch! Touchdown! Is it? Yes! Touchdown! What a super play that time on the part of Kevin Stump. Kevin Stump, a circus catch. Senior, 5'10", 170 pounds. Kevin Stump did a super job to pull that one in.
They are celebrating at Wyoming Valley West.
A 35-yard touchdown pass
It's 20-7.
Sanders looking to add the point after. He does.
There's a flag down.
Well, let's see. They say good. It was against Hazleton.
There's a flag on the play.
Watch this super catch. This was a great job. There was good coverage here on defense. This was just a dynamite play. Look at that. Tremendous concentration and in for the touchdown. Jamie Dixon was all over him.
Wyoming Valley West simply causing things to happen. So with 7 minutes and 34 seconds now, the Cougars of Hazleton area will try to regroup.
And the penalty is going to be marked off against the Cougars, unsportsmanlike conduct.
I don't want to go in front of you.
And so
No, go ahead.
Wyoming Valley West going to get the kick off here from the 45. Scott, I've often wondered if you get the ball right here, this got to be an onside kick attempt if I'm the coach. However, I'm not the coach, but if I were, I'd get in this situation, it would be predictable. I'm coming. Let's see what they do.
Raj has no problem with tendencies.
None whatsoever.
Wyoming Valley West gets down in their three-point stances for the kickoffs. That's unusual.
Well, that's why I don't coach, Scott. Boot it out of the end zone. Give him the ball at the 20-yard line.
So Hazleton area starting 80 yards away from some points. And
Scott, right now with the momentum that Wyoming Valley West has gathered here as they came out of the locker room fired up and scored on their first two possessions. As part of that, Hazleton, I feel, right here has to answer. Some of the Wyoming Valley West cheerleaders along the sideline like that last effort. Scott can't find nowhere to run as Dave White made the tackle for the Spartans.
You heard me say at the beginning of the first quarter, probably halfway through, that the Hazleton area offensive line was winning.
They're not.
They're not. It's no longer a stalemate either. WVW is winning this battle.
This is Lips, complete at the 30-yard line. It should be good for a first down. And maybe you hear the coaching staff along the sidelines of Wyoming Valley West saying, we'll give them that one, we'll give them that one. Meaning as long as they got to throw underneath. Watch here. Well, trust us, he caught it.
I guess they'll have to give him that one after it's over, huh?
Yeah, they will. Wayne Lips is a 5'9", 160-pound senior. Nowhere to go. That time for Jason Scott.
Jason Scott on the carry.
Perhaps a yard.
6 minutes, 22 seconds and counting. Second down and 8.
Gain of 2 last time. Scott, Harmon and Scott in the eye. They're looking, it's batted down. Toby Merrill got up in the air and Merrill bats that one back. Passes incomplete.
On that series of passes, look, it's a 3 drop back pass, 3 steps back, and you throw right away. The offensive lineman can't afford to take that step back and pass block regularly. You almost have to block those right on the line of scrimmage. You just can't give them any space.
You got to make them go down, not let them go up. Referring to the offensive lineman, you have to make your defensive lineman come down, and you got to do that by getting them low. Flag is thrown. Did someone line up offsides? Please tell us, Mr. Official. Let's see. Somebody was in the neutral zone.
They call it the neutral zone. It's point to point on the ball, and you don't go there, as they say.
That's right. You don't either. 3rd down and 3. The Cougars needing to get something going on this drive. Imperative they answer here. She doesn't think so. They do. Jason Scott, he's close to the first down.
I don't think he got it.
Well, it's going to depend on the spot here, I believe, and they might take another look at this one. They say first down.
Wrong again.
Must look different from down there.
I guess.
That's the second first down of the drive. Jason Barron and Joe Longo will check in. Look there at Speransky. First and 10 play. Longo. Can he get outside? Jamie Emmert will come up along with Jamie Scarlett.
Out by Emmert and Weitzel.
And there's going to be a loss on the play of about a yard. Back to the 43. You see, there's nowhere to go.
Very disciplined Wyoming Valley West defense. They stay home. They work contained very well. Not suckered into the things that'll cause them to get out of a play.
Wyoming Valley West last week beat a very tough Wyoming area team. To throw. Intended for Ron Heller. It was a little bit behind him.
One of our field microphones, you heard someone down in the WVW defense yelling, ball, ball. As soon as the pass is in the air, the backers and defensive linemen are encouraged to yell so that the defensive backfield knows that they should be looking.
We got the officials here. So guys, it's time for a conference. Pass interference is the call against Hazleton area.
They talked about it for a while.
Preliminary indication is interference against the Cougars.
That ball was actually thrown behind Ron Heller. Let's see what the play is going, or what the call is going to be here. It's going to move the football all the way back to the 26-yard line, and that is also carries with it also a loss of down. So a big play.
The penalty is marked off. It's a loss of down.
And so that will make it a 3rd down and very long.
3rd down, 24.
And the PA announcer does our work for us here and says it's 24.
Thank you, Mr. PA announcer.
I almost said it as if we knew it.
I was counting my fingers.
5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 3rd and 24 play. Brown to throw. He's looking for Dixon. Dixon got it. Outstanding catch at the 40-yard line.
They don't build them any better than that. Jamie Dixon, number 34.
Boy, I want to tell you, we have seen some outstanding play on both sides of the football here tonight. Look at Brown. He lets this one go. And look at that. Dixon steps right in front of Bill Skowronski and comes up with the reception. That was an absolutely outstanding job. Superb.
Was that bad coverage? No way.
No.
That coverage was perfect.
Skowronski, let me tell you, he saw that ball coming and said, I got it. Interception. As Jason Scott will plow his way to about the 36.
Ooh, Jason Scott's all dirty and muddy. All right, Jason, way to go, buddy. You got to get that stuff all grimy. Oh, look at 65, I guess it is in there. Way to go. There's nothing like getting dirty in high school football.
That's Dave Barashian.
Oh, all those linemen in there. Oh, this is great.
The field just a little bit soft. We should tell you that just recently they held the District 2 soccer championships here. The field's just a little bit spongy. as Jason Scott looks to have the first down at the 30. Joe Ruddy, a junior at 6 feet, 210 pounds, made the tackle. And they're going to say, bring those chains out here. That was the 12th play of the drive.
3 minutes, 33 seconds remain. This is the third period. It is the Spartans of Wyoming Valley West 21. Cougars of Hazleton area 7.
That looks like first down by the nose of the football. It is. You know, that's a play right there where you don't really care if you get the first down. I mean, it gives you an extra play in there. You get third down and inches. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you take it if you can get it. Full house backfield. 2 tight ends. What do? Give it to Harmon. Harmon says, no hole here, I'll make one. Actually, that time, Scott, to give credit where credit is due, that time, yeah, and there was good movement that time. The Hazleton offensive line that time won that battle up front. You could see that whole pile move down the field.
As the line goes, so goes the team. High school football, any football, is won and lost up front in the trenches.
Cougars again from the full house backfield. Jason Scott tried to show that he could be a world-class hurdler, but it didn't work that time.
We have another look for you here. Now watch the right side guard and tackle. You'll see them blocking down. They didn't do a bad job, but right there was the defensive back, number 22, Bill Skoronsky. Where have we heard that name before? Untouched, and he made the tackle.
This is the 15th play of this drive that started back at the Cougar 20-yard line. Jason Harmon, and Jason Harmon found some very tough going there. On the bottom of the pile, Dave White, a 6'2", 235-pound senior. Ed Weitzel with an assist on that last tackle.
Gain of about 2 yards. It's 4th down and 2. This is a tough call to make as a coach. There's some happy Wyoming Valley.
Well, you know what? Jason Harmon has been Mr. Bread and Butter in this situation. And he is again. First down as he crosses the 20-yard line.
Boy, you just can't ask for
Harmon.
more. There he is, pulling the mud out of his face mask again.
Joe Ruddy made the tackle on Jason Harmon, but Harmon has advanced the football to the 19. That is the 5th first down of the drive.
A look into the Cougar huddle.
That's Jason Harmon. This is Joe Longo. Longo shakes the tackle in the backfield. Takes another tackle. He's inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. Joe Longo.
That was a trap play. They pulled the offside guard.
Finally knocked out of bounds by Toby Bell.
There you see him, 69.
Made 2 men miss, then turned it up. And it took Bill Skoronsky to run him out of bounds. Jason Harmon, what do you want to bet? Jason Harmon, touchdown.
So Hazleton area answers back.
With 56 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter of action, we're going to give you another look. Jason Harmon up the middle. Boy, he made a nice adjustment there, smelled pay dirt and dove in.
I guess
Bognet will attempt the point after. Good snap, good placement, blocked. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a great effort on the part of Jamie Emmert. And Emmert is not that big, 5'10", but man, he's stretched out. They should nickname him Rubber Band.
That could loom very large as we've got 56 seconds remaining third quarter. Hazleton area would have needed another score and a point after in order to tie, but now they're faced with another touchdown and a two-point conversion in order to tie. There you see it, 21-13, 56 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So Richie Matz now with his work cut out for him and some coaching strategy to try and work out. Essentially, we're looking at a touchdown, a two-point conversion, the tie, and then a field goal or another touchdown to win it. So an unfortunate occurrence if you happen to be a Cougar fan. If you're a Wyoming Valley West fan, great job, guys. That's the great thing about being a sports commentator, Raj. No matter what happens, somebody's happy about it.
We win. We don't lose, we win.
Jim Bognet to kick off. Goronski, Poplowski, and Smith deep to return.
Scott, that was an 18-play, 80-yard drive by the Cougars. Skoronski up the middle. Oh, I'll tell you, that was some kind of hit put on him there. And the hit was by J.P. LeBert, 5'11", 170 pounds. But on that play, J.P. LeBert was 6'5", 260. Wow.
He LeBerted
Talk
him.
about he LeBerted him. That's right. Wyoming Valley West with the football at their own 33-yard line. Bill Howells will give the ball to Poplowski. Poplowski with some good yardage manages to stay in bounds.
Kashak, the 6'1", 185 guard, pulling. He was the offside guard pulling around the other end. Excuse me, he was the onside guard. In order to help gain some of that yardage, second down 5.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter of action as time expires.
At the end of the third quarter.
Wyoming Valley West 21, Hazleton area 13. We've got a good one. Don't go away. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes.
Rushing north to this season.
Those folks are excited as we're about to get underway with the final 12 minutes of action here from Spartan Stadium. Complete to Skoronski. Out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
Let's put that one on the money.
It is our understanding that Poplowski has also now surpassed the 1,000-yard milestone.
So congratulations to the junior running back, Joe Poplowski, 5'10", 185 pounds. Unofficially here in the booth, we'll recognize him too as a 1,000-yard rusher. This time they're going to have to subtract some yardage from that total of 1,000. Plus, as he is tossed for a loss back to his own 47-yard line, that's going to make it a second down and 13.
So he's going to be around for another year to make some noise. And that,
Well, I'll tell you, I'll bet you, Scott, there are a lot of college coaches that are keeping an eye on a lot of the schools here in the Wyoming Valley Conference because there is a wealth of talent, and next year there's going to be some truly outstanding ball players here that...
once again.
Yeah, once again. Again is the right word, too. Little timing pass. Jason Scott was the closest man to the ball, although it was intended for Bill Skoronski. You know, these guys run a lot of timing plays, Scott. They simply put the ball up before the receiver is in the area, and that takes a lot of coordination. Bill Howells, you might know, or we should tell you here, just recently returning to the lineup, and it's very difficult when you first come back in order to have the timing down on those types of plays, but
it takes kind of a sixth sense.
as Jim Williams couldn't find anywhere to go. The only thing he could find was the front of Tony Mariano's shirt. Watch this. Couldn't quite see it. Trust me.
Mariano won.
Mariano won.
Deep to return, Jason Scott and J.D. Dixon.
The kick is away. Oh, and this takes a Wyoming Valley West roll all the way to the 8-yard line. A great punt.
7-yard line, where the Cougars will take over. First down.
Well, a fantastic roll
by Toby Merrill. All the way to the Hazleton 8, and the Cougars have their backs pinned against the wall.
9:49 remaining in this football game. It's Wyoming Valley West 21, Hazleton area 13.
We told you this was a key game that had playoff possibilities in the sense that each team can control their own destiny. Flag on the play. And this becomes a key ball game, even though neither team's chances of playoff action hang in the balance here. It's just a key to determine your destiny. An illegal procedure is the call.
In order for Hazleton area to control their own destiny, they must win or tie tonight to ensure that they will win their division. If they achieve neither, then the Spartans would have to lose to or tie Coughlin next week to give the Cougars the division title.
And it's always better when you can control your own destiny. This is going to be a first down and 14. Oh, and Brown had that one tipped, and guess who was right there again to tip it? Was Toby Merrill.
Take a look at it now. This defensive line just does a great job of getting their hands in the air. You saw a lot of white shirts with no red ones around them. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
And Scott, one of the things that happened right there, I don't know if you noticed, but on the replay, that's the handoff from the center to the quarterback was bobbled. And boy, when you have your back against the wall like that, that is extremely dangerous. Second down, 14. Scott used the official as a screen and manages to get all the way out to about the 13, make it the 12-yard line. Watch here as he uses the official. Look at that right there. It's a nice screen, ref.
He also said hello to one of his own players. 8 minutes, 45 seconds remaining.
Third down and 5, and a very big play coming for the Cougars of Hazleton area. Big play. They need 5. Wayne Lips is into the ball game. He comes split to the near side. See if they go to him. This is Jason Scott. Jason Scott. Loose football. Who's got it? Wyoming area. Wyoming Valley West. Correct that. Coming up with the football was Doug Giza.
Wyoming Valley West is just creating opportunities for themselves, and now they'll take over in terrific position to eat up some of the clock and maybe even put more points on the board. There's 8 minutes and about 10 seconds remaining.
And Wyoming Valley West says, we want a timeout. Bill Chase says, we need to talk about this one.
Certainly an opportunity you want to use to its fullest.
Without a question. Here you get the ball at your opponent's 23 with 8 minutes and 11 seconds left. You can all but put this one away right here. Be interesting to see. Bill Chase along the sidelines. That's he at the bottom of your screen talking to Bill Howells, his quarterback.
We had an opportunity to speak with him earlier in the week. He doesn't have the same kind of persona that you sometimes expect from a football coach. Sort of soft-spoken, but very, very knowledgeable and a motivator.
Scott, tonight they've left their talking be done on the field.
Yeah, you don't really say much when you're up.
Not at all.
But we were impressed with him.
You ever have a job like that? With a water cooler. Bring it out there.
Can't say that I have.
I think they should put hot chocolate in that thing tonight. It's cold out here.
Welcome to football in northeastern PA.
Yeah, exactly. Poplowski, the lone remaining step back. They give the ball to him. And Ron Heller says, no, sir. I'm not going on Richie Matz's doghouse list.
I'm sure there are better places.
No game.
There you see it again.
Heller didn't exactly tackle him, but he sure didn't let him go anywhere.
Don't have to bring him down. Just have to stop it.
That's
7:44 remaining.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Oh, some great blocking. Enables him to turn the corner.
Flag down over there on the sideline.
And we do have a flag. Yes, it's going to be about 4 yards, 3 yards short.
Look for a face mask call.
Face mask is exactly right, Scott. That's going to give him the first one. Watch the block here. Watch the block that Poplowski gets right. Couldn't see it there. It was there. And with the penalty, it's going to move the ball. We're going to call it the 8-yard line.
7 minutes and 15 seconds, as you see there in your screen.
Hazleton area needs to pull the rabbit out of the hat. Poplowski, wow, Ron Heller with a great hit as he comes from his linebacking spot. Heller is shaken up. That hurt his hand. Chris Pombo also in on the action there. Ron Heller really took a hard hit, and Magic Maseko very quickly out to take a look at Ron Heller.
Sometimes in a situation like that, Rogers, there you get some future football players, perhaps. Sometimes. Same to you.
That was to their dad. Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. It's never hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Wrong. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Sometimes in a situation like that, you can get your hand caught between two helmets. And believe me, that is extremely.
You know, here's a key thing. Ron Heller is their leading receiver. And, you know, if it is a hand, Hazleton being down, needing to come back and throw, I mean, that becomes a factor. Ron Heller really took a good, hard bump right there on his hand. I mean, that was a major league lick. I'm not sure. Maybe he just got his bell rung.
Yeah, it looks like they may be letting him sniff some salt.
That's
there.
Their Hazleton trainer, Mike Magic Maseko, the guy you hardly ever want to see on the field, and he's happiest that way. But boy, he does a great job. No, it's his left arm. Well, we'll find out what happens here. Ron Heller's shaken up. He's going to come off the field under his own power. We'll be right back. Doom action. It's actually second down goal to go from the 10. Here's Poplowski. Touchdown! Boy, Poplowski found a hole, cut it back at the 5-yard line. He broke to his left and took it in for the touchdown. Poplowski found a good hole that time off the right tackle. And when he got to the 5, I think we'll get another look at it here. Right after we watch the point after is good.
Now Hazleton area in a very difficult position with 6 minutes and 34 seconds remaining on the play clock. They need a bunch of points. You have to be impressed, Roger, with this Wyoming Valley West team. They have been a very well-disciplined team. They do their assignments. They stay home on defense. They stay with their blocking assignments on offense. And they just haven't made a lot of mistakes, with the exception of a couple of timing things. They just have not been a mistake-ridden team.
And it's certainly been their second half. Yes,
they're happy. If you ever need someone to perform for the camera,
let the cheerleaders know that the tally light is on. Hey, you know, it's great memories that are made out here. We'd like to congratulate each and every youngster that has participated as part of the Scholastic Sports Showcase and as members of their respective teams, because they are part of some tremendous memories. Kickoff by Jamie Scarlett. It's taken at the 10-yard line and returned to the 31 by Jason Scott. We'll be right back to see what Hazleton's able to do. Jason Brown looks to throw. He's got a man. It's complete. At the 40-yard line, it is snowed under.
Kevin Stump and Bill Skoronski.
Jamie Dixon.
Less than 6 minutes now. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for Hazleton area. Gain of 8.
Brown to throw. He does. It's incomplete. And Scott, I got to tell you right now, if I'm Richie Matz and I look at that play, I got to say something is wrong. He had 2 receivers in exactly the same area.
Brings up a 3rd and 2.
Hard to say. It could have been an incorrect pattern.
Yeah, you don't run a pattern where you put 2 guys in exactly the same area. That's not the way it works.
The clock continues to roll. It's 3rd and short.
And here, Hazleton area, the Cougars need to come up with a 1st down. And they get it. Hard-earned, Jason Harmon.
Who else?
Jason Harmon on the carry.
To the 40.
Cougar 1st down.
So Hazleton area needing 2 scores here. Need 2 scores, and they need some help with 2-point conversions. And this one is incomplete. We have a penalty flag thrown on the play.
There is a flag on the play.
Everybody's pointing at everybody.
It's thrown by the back judge.
Yeah, and I don't think that it was pass interference against the Cougars. That's another long penalty plus loss of down.
It's interesting. Guess we'll let it at that.
Yep, that's a 15-yard penalty. It's going to move the ball all the way back to the 30-yard line. And that is 2 times tonight that we've seen the Cougars penalized for pass interference offensively. And that's something that you normally don't see, but maybe once or twice in a whole season, if that. Many times you don't see it at all. Jason Brown will deliver the play, or excuse me, Jason Scott will deliver the play to Jason Brown.
5 minutes, 12 seconds. It's 2nd and 25.
And now the Cougars are going to ask for a timeout. Well, here's the story. 5 minutes, 12 seconds remain. 28-13. Hazleton trails by 15. We'll be right back with the final couple of minutes.
The road then.
Point after, good.
Kick is good.
Is a super catch on the part of Jamie Dixon. Pass interference penalty is going to be declined. Hazleton area will have the football at the 23-yard line.
First down 10, 4 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the ball game. Hazleton needs this one.
Quickly. This is not where you need a long drive. You got to step back. You got to hit it again. To Dixon, inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Right there, Jamie Dixon, a little more experience. He takes that one and steps out of bounds and saves the clock, because the clock here, you saw the good hit there by Scarlett. Hazleton area with a first down at the 9. Clock now under 4 minutes. Jason Harmon up the middle.
33, Jason Harmon on the carry.
To the 8.
Clock is rolling at 3 minutes, 48 seconds.
Basically no gain on the play. Clock now at 3:30 and counting. And that one is incomplete. That was a forward pass that time. A lot of times, Scott, they toss that one behind the line.
Jason Brown just didn't have the time that he needed even to set up that little one. He was rushed. And therefore, the play was unable to unfold as it should have. Off the play out.
They got the Spartans on track, so it would appear. Brown to throw. That's another penalty. As Jamie Dixon was bumped. No doubt about that one again, and that should give Hazleton area a first down. Boy, I'll tell you what. Scott, those flags are going to be dirty. Throw those in the hamper when you get home, man.
There's been a lot of
That's an automatic first down. Now the ball is inside the 5, so we'll call it officially before. Even though it's just inside, you go to the nearest marker ahead. And this time Hazleton area has the play ready. From the full house backfield, Jason Brown apparently will audible. And Jason Harmon at the 6 was met by a host of red shirts. Ed Weitzel was the man who led the charge. Call that a loss of 2.
Becoming costly in terms of the clock.
Very costly, and the flag is thrown. Let's see, the official will sort this one out for us. And somebody from Hazleton lined up in the neutral zone. So that moves the ball back to the 11. Where it'll be a second down and goal to go from the 11. Well, if you're going to throw, it gives you a little more room with which to work.
Second and goal from the 11.
And I would think here that they would be throwing, although we don't always think like-minded.
That's for sure.
Not just you and me. Although they are going to throw. Here comes heavy pressure. Brown is sacked. Joe Ruddy.
Back to the first down.
And in defense of Jason Brown, he had nowhere to go. And it's quite obvious at this point that the Spartans know that the Cougars have got to put the football in the air. Third down, goal to go from the 14, clock running under 2 minutes. intended for Lips at the 3.
You know,
Lips was open. He needed to lead him more inside.
If it got to the point where you had to choose a key factor in the rise of Wyoming Valley West over Hazleton area in this second half, it would have to be that for the most part, the defensive line of the Spartans is doing the job. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. They're the Hazleton area not getting the long runs that they had been. And most of that is because the defensive front of this Wyoming Valley West team doing a bang-up job.
And so this drive that started at the Hazleton 33 comes to this on a 4th down play. Incomplete.
And a flag, and another flag.
Uh-oh. You know what? I think we got 2 players being ejected. Jason Brown is being tossed. And somebody over here is being tossed. Jim Taylor. You know, there's been probably a lot of baiting going on back and forth and a little bit of frustration here on the part of both teams. And the official's still talking here. Well, what's the scoop here? Okay, do we have it straight? We have flags and flags. All right, now, what's the deal?
They
should just be offset.
They're just wondering where the nearest McDonald's drive-thru is for after the game.
I doubt that they will be headed to a drive-thru. It's probably the pause that refreshes. What are they talking about here? Spot of the football? There we go. Unsportsmanlike against Wyoming Valley West.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Spartans.
Oh. Well, let's see what happened. Then you see the ball put in the air. That was a great defensive effort. It was as it was tipped away.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Cougars. Offsetting penalty.
Yeah, and as we had told you before, I'm not sure what took so long to sort this out, except for the discussion on where the ball would be put down. And there was a sack on the play. No, there wasn't either. It was incomplete.
It may have been that since it... Well, no, it wouldn't have been.
Scott, how can we be expected to figure this out when they've talked about it for 6 minutes and they're still not sure? Well, there it is. At any rate, it's a first down for the Spartans.
So long and short of it is the ball has moved a little and come back to from whence it came. With 1:41 remaining, it's the Spartans football, and they certainly will be happy to use up that time.
Poplotsky brought down.
Poplotsky on the sweep. Tackled by Joe Longo.
I don't understand where they have the chains on the far side.
Well, I don't either, Raj, if that's any consolation. The chains
I'm going to have to get Frank D'Angelo to explain this one to me.
Well, the chains are sitting where they would have been if Hazleton still had the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
I think
they got 3 yards on that play, and it's a 2nd down and 1. It's not going to make any difference, but I'm sure I'll get a call that'll explain that to me.
I think I understand it, but we won't go into it now.
I won't pretend to understand it as the clock ticks down under 55 seconds.
50 seconds now.
The Cougars are going to take a timeout here. This has been a very hard-fought football game.
Big-time hitting.
Some outstanding hitting. And the Spartans of Wyoming Valley West will move to 6-4. Hazleton area, should the score continue the way it is, will drop to 6-4. And we were hoping that perhaps at the conclusion of this weekend's play, that the playoff picture would become more clear.
Not.
It is now more cloudy than ever.
Now that little
and
bit
with
of
the Eastern Conference tossed in there,
with that little bit of movement that you see, it's not the scoreboard shaking. That's the fact that the Wyoming Valley West fans are jumping up and down, and it's shaking the
bouncing our camera. clock down.
The regular season next Friday at Coughlin at 7:30.
Hazleton area will play at Pottsville next week. A couple of pats on the head for those guys. This is third down and less than one. Not that it's going to make a whole lot of difference. Next weekend, the PCTN sports team will be headed to the Poconos for the Cardinals and the Bears. The Pocono Mountain Pleasant Valley match up and battle for the Little Brown Jug, as this one, with that first down on the part of the Spartans, is just about all but going to do it. As we had said, a very hard-fought football game. Second half that was owned by Wyoming Valley West, as they really took it to Hazleton on the onset in the second half of action here, and all they need to do here is just simply kneel on the football with 20 seconds remaining. Yeah, they're content here to take the layup game penalty, to which all of the Wyoming Valley West fans, coaches, and players say, so what?
Congratulations to our organization who also went over the 1,000-yard rush mark earlier in the game.
Clock will start on the snap. Hazleton area can do little more than watch the final seconds tick off of the clock. This was a super fine football game. Another flag is thrown as the emotions of both of these teams. The official says, start the clock. He's going to hold the football. And says, that's it. Run that time off. We're not going to have any more of that. Well, here's the way this one went very quickly on the recap. At the 5-minute and 42-second mark of the first period, Jason Scott opened the scoring with a 22-yard run that capped a 12-play, 69-yard drive, both net the PAT. But then in the second period of action at the 7-minute, 3-second mark, it was Poplowski to Smith off an option pass, capping a 34-yard drive in 8 plays, made it 7-6. Brian Sanders tacked on the PAT 7-7 at the half. And it took the Spartans no time whatsoever to get the scoring underway in the third period. A 2-play, 61-yard drive. Poplowski carried both of them. The final, a 1-yard run, made it 14-6. Sanders the point after. Then at the 7-minute, 34-second mark, a 35-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Stump from Bill Howells. Sanders again, the point after, 21-7. Jason Harmon made it somewhat close with a 3-yard touchdown run at the 56-second mark of the third period. 21-13 was the score at that point. The point after attempt was blocked. Joe Poplowski with a 10-yard run capped the scoring. 28-13, Wyoming Valley West with a tremendous win here, and they've won their last 5 in a row. Hazleton area needs to rebound next week against Pottsville. For J.P. Podani, Scott Federoff, and the entire PCTN sports team, this is Roger Snyder saying so long from Spartan Stadium in Kingston, Pennsylvania.